Hi everyone. So I've been seeing these videos about passport bros. So basically, you just Google it to figure out what that is. And all of these men, they seem to think that they would leave America and go to third world countries like Africa, the Philippines, Brazil, to try and find a submissive wife because American women are masculine and they are not submissive. And the problem with this idea for me as an African woman, I'm from South Africa, is that they don't realize that this is not, they are the reason why African American women or they are Western women are the way that they are. They created this culture. You have to understand that the reason that African women or women from third world countries are the way that they are because of how their men treat them. Men in other countries are raised to be a provider, they are raised to be a protector, they are raised to be the head of the household. Most third world countries do not promote the 50-50 idea. A man is to take care of the house and the woman is to take care of the house. So, and yeah, African women work, they've got degrees, they can go to a job, but like when they grow up, even though having a degree and having all of these other things, they are still taught how to be a wife at home. And same as men, they are still taught like you need to be the head of the house. In America, you have a culture of men who want 50-50. They don't want to fully provide. They want to know what you bring on the table. And they say cooking and cleaning is not enough, but you still have to do it because you are a woman. What else are you bringing to the table? And secondly, the way that you guys have treated your women for generations and generations, it's what has created masculine women. It's what has created super independent women where they have to depend on themselves because you don't want to go to work, you cheat on them, you lie on them, and you don't take care of them. And if you Google the internet, search all of the internet and check and see if any of these countries, look at Brazil, look at South Africa, Nigeria, and find one podcast that is solely dedicated at destroying or talking badly and just like talking all of this nonsense about how black women are fat, masculine and ugly. There is not one podcast that you will find of an African community or Mexico or any third world countries where you go find wives where wives or women of that nation are being bashed the way that African men bash their women. So and then thirdly, African men treat their women like queens. They are not like perfect, but they treat them like queens. In order for you to fix what this is part 2. So if you go to any of these third world countries to try and find a wife and bring that wife to America, you are going to create the exact same woman that you created here if you don't know how to adopt the behavior of those men. There's a reason these women are the way that they are. You have to look at how their men treat them. There's a reason they are submissive. There's a reason they don't have a problem staying at home and raising kids. There's a reason why they are submissive to their husbands. But if you go to a third world country and bring this woman in your country and still continue the behavior and the attitude that you had towards your women to her, you are gonna run her out. Most likely, if you go to a country anyway, just looking for a wife because they are better than the wife in your country, you are the problem. You are toxic, and most likely you are a predator because that means you are not a man enough to learn how to control your women. And when I say control your women, you don't know how to use non-manipulative tactics to get what you want from a woman. Probably can't have a conversation, probably don't want to hear that you have to reason with the person. I don't know, but all I'm saying is if you go to a different country with the sole purpose of trying to find a husband, a wife, you are a red flag to me and to most African women. Look at African women, most likely they date African men. Why? Not because there isn't like a good American brothers, or there's a lot of great African American brothers, but I'm talking specifically with African like the passport bros. most African, even African American women are now looking at dating African men. Why? Because they already understand the assignment. They don't need to make podcasts about, oh, we need a submissive wife, because they know what it takes to get and keep a woman submissive and good. And I'm not talking about control. I'm not talking about bashing, talking down. I'm not talking about any of that. So you need to change your attitude towards women. You need to change your attitude. You need to first learn, like these men that are passport bros, they need to sit down in their country and learn what it takes to be a husband, what it takes really to be a leader in the home, and then start treating their women in the most respectful way, like they are queens, like the way that African men treat their women. I have never seen a toxic culture like African American men. Again, not all of them. The way that they talk about their women, it shocks me. It makes it traumatizing. And I want to say, this is part 3. I, as a woman who was born in South Africa or Africa, I'm always so traumatized. Like seriously, it bothers me and it traumatizes me every time I get a clip and I just listen to an African man talk, like African American men, the toxic ones, talk about their women the way that they do. Like it baffles me. I'm traumatized by the idea that you would get a microphone and you will speak such things about your women. I don't care if she weighs 400 pounds, 200 pounds. I do not care. The way that you talk about these women, you demonize them, it's like you're not talking about a human being who has feelings and who has a heart. And listen, you can go to these other countries, you can go to South Africa, you can go to Kenya, you can go to Nigeria, and you can go to the Philippines. Most likely you're gonna get the poor woman who can't wait to escape from poverty. You are a predator because you know that woman is not gonna leave. You can abuse them, you can cheat on them, you can treat them like garbage, but it will be better for them to be sitting in your home being treated like garbage because they don't have any other plan. They will rather stay here, take the money, support their family back home than go back there. So they will take your nonsense, and that's evil. That's not really submission. They're not submitting to you, because submission, you know what submission is like? It's like knowing that your wife has 5 degrees. She makes more money than you, but when she's at home, she's a wife. Like neighbors don't even know that she makes more. Neighbors don't even know that she treats you like a king, regardless of how much you bring it home. You could bring more, she could bring more, but she will still treat you like a king. Submission is something that is voluntary. It comes out of a place of respect and honor for the men that you are married, not out of control. And so if you think that like these women are being submissive to you, no, they are just tolerating you because they don't have any other option. And you know that. Your little insecure self knows that, because you know if she had a way out, she would leave. If she was educated, had a career, spoke English, and had a degree, she would not tolerate you. She would not tolerate the way that you do. So you will go and you will pick the most vulnerable, and that makes you a predator. I probably said too much today, but you know what? I said what I said. I said what I said. And before you come at me, this is not a video of me agreeing with you that women are like African women are problematic. This is just in response of what you say about them and say what the problems are and what causes you to go to these third world countries to look for women. I'm saying look at yourself first. Look at what you did to create a culture of super independent women who are just always wanting to take care of themselves, wanting to be in control of their lives instead of trusting you as a man to be as a good provider, to be a protector. Maybe you haven't provided for them. Maybe you haven't protected them, and now they feel they have to take that responsibility that was initially for a husband to themselves because you haven't done that. So this is not a video about me bashing African American women or saying that they are problematic, but if you say that they are, all these problems that you say they have, what have you done to create these issues? And this is not gaslighting. This is just showing you that, you know what, with every reaction, there's an opposite and equal reaction. I think that's what it says. But basically, you reap what you sow. What kind of seed have you sown in your culture, in the American culture, in relationships, in marriages, in family, that has now created this toxic cycle? This is what this is about.